Hello everyone. Sorry. Hello everyone. Sorry for the inconvenience. What can I say? IT issues. They go well. They're my partner. But anyway, what I'll do is just let me know if you all can hear me. Okay, we are good. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, what I'll do is just let me pop out the chat. Sound like a dream. Thanks, Renata. Okay, all right. So, what should we do here? Just bear with me just for a moment. I'm almost there. Okay. All right. Sorry, won't be a moment. Okay. Just 2 secs. Okay, all right. Okay, well, first of all, I just wanted to welcome you. Welcome to Xrissart. I'm Chrissy, thanks for joining me. And what I wanted to do is show you what I've been up to, and thank you for being extremely patient. Hello Brenda, how you going? How you going? I talk to you all the time on Facebook. Lovely to see you here on the chat. G'day Wendy, thanks for all your help. As always, my backup. Nanette, oh wonderful. Thank you so much for coming back. You know what? I've got this mic. It's hopeless. I don't know. Well, actually, it's not hopeless. It's the operator. So I'm just going to put that aside. And what I wanted to do is just show you, well, I wanted to talk about a few things. I was going to talk to you about being out of our comfort zone, and I wanted to talk about fixatives, and I also wanted to talk about some new purchases. Well, it's a purchase, and I wanted to talk about another stream next week. Dare I say, if I can get it, if all the moons and the planets and all of those things can align. But wonderful. Okay, all right. Okay, so first of all, what I've got here, is a pastel painting, and what it's more like a practice for me, because for my project, because I've actually got a very big landscape. When I say a very big landscape, well, for me it's very big. It's it would be probably about 1 meter wide or 100 centimeters wide. Now that's quite large for doing this kind of pastel work, and I'm a bit like this with landscape, so sorry, there we go. Is that better? I'm so sorry, Nanette. Okay. Is that okay, or is that still too loud? That must be so loud. I know that I've been leaving you with questions. Nanette, is that okay? I know I should, but I don't wanna fall. All right. Sorry. Okay. So, and this landscape that I'm doing. So, and this landscape's got a lot of rocks and got a lot of hills and grasses and. How about that? Oh, I know what it is. That's it. I think that's better. Okay, sorry about that. Blowing your eardrums out, I'm sure. Okay, so yeah, so this is a huge landscape that I wanted to do. So, and I'm practicing on these little ones. And of course, like I said before, there's, what can I say? There's grasses, there's trees, there's hills, there's valleys, waterfalls, all that landscape stuff. And yeah, so what I'm going to do now, and now I'll show you what I'm using. Of course, I'm using my much loved Pastels, my tools. So I'll put all those back. But before I go on, how do you, if you guys are using pastel pencils, what do you use for sharpeners? Now, you guys know that I've just got like 50 million sharpeners in this place. I spy my little eye and eyeball. Okay, all right. So, sharpeners, right? So, how about that? Now, I'll give you one guess what that is. You're not going to believe it. And what do you think that is? For people in the chat. Now there's a fellow on Facebook, his name is Gary, and he showed me a tip of how to doesn't it get everywhere? Yes, it does. So it's probably not convenient to sharpen your pencil on your artwork. You're probably better off going outside, which is probably not convenient, or over a sink, because that's where all the pastel dust is going to go. But when you're frustrated and to sharpen your pastel pencils, this is probably another alternative. So I thought, you know what, I'm game to try anything. Anyway, this fellow, his name's Gary, a nice chap who gave me this hint. So I've got to give him the credit for this. So that's seriously, and then it says absolutely. I'm not joking. I would try anything. I would try anything. So there's that. So how about that? But anyway, what I'll do is I'll get stuck into the painting, and what I'll do is I'll start to talk about some of the things that I have on my list to talk about. Okay, so again, I've got all my pastel pencils and my brushes. You know, what else can I show you that I'll be using? Probably some soft tools, of course, you know, so that's all there. So I'll better start. Okay. Let me what I'll do is I'll also get my yeah, just wanted to just 2 secs, won't be long. I've got my reference photo here. So I just wanted to for the people that are in the chat, what have you guys have been up to this week? I can tell you that I've had no sleep because all I seem to be doing is spending a lot of time in my art studio. So anyway. Okay. Where are my pencils? Oh yeah, here we go. Here's some more. These are the ones I was looking for. And I've got my Glassine paper. Wendy asks, did you order a digital tablet yet? No, it's called No Money. I've been spending it on other things, mainly bills actually this week. That is not my fault this week. Okay, all right, so, okay. Let me see, I just want to make sure Sorry, Renata. Thanks for, and sorry for, I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned everyone that's in the chat. And Renata and Brenda, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being patient. Okay, so what I've got here, this artwork here, all it is cliffs and rocks, and of course, in true fantasy style, I've got a man here. Now, if I was really fancy with my software, which I will get one, I would show you what my no, I was just wondering, do I have it around me here somewhere? No, maybe not. I just wanted to show you what the reference photo was. But this is a man. Now, what I've done so far is his eye. It appears as a rock. And it says, what is this landscape? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm seeing. It appears as a rock dragon. Not sure, says Wendy. It appears as a rock dragon. Yes, no, it's an old man. It will be an old man, but once I start doing it, you'll see it'll just pop. Well, you know what my record is with things that pop, right? They just start in a mess and then all of a sudden they just happen. G'day, Tracy. How you going? G'day. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for coming. Wonderful. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll start on this fellow's eye, so at least you can see that there's something happening there, because you can't really see what's happening. You know what? In a little bit, I'll show you what this does, this sharpener does. I'll probably have pastel dust everywhere, inhale it, who knows, but I'll try to be okay with it. All right, when I need it though. Okay. So what have you guys been up to this week? I've just been working, and as I said, I come down here in my art studio, and I just I can hardly wait. Now, says Nanette. Now I'm going to use just a pastel here, because all I want to do is just to draw what it's going to look like, so at least you guys can see that there is an eye, and this is, he's got some bags underneath his eyes here, which is going to be a rock, and I'll just outline these. Okay, well, what are the things that I wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk about your comfort zone. Now, I've been doing a few projects lately. Oh, hang on a minute. Record. Yay. I always do this. I always. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yes, when I like doing things out of your comfort. Tracy says doodling. Try out Tante paper. I'm saying it correctly. Which you're doodling. WaNderful. What are you doodling? Renata says painting Easter eggs. Oh yes, we're nearly there, aren't we? And Nanette, watercolor for me. Oh, wonderful. I've tried watercolor the other day, and I've uploaded a video. You know, I love it so much, but I'm no good at it, or not so no good at it, but I understand the principles. But I think what I'm practicing, and I'm getting better. Oh, my picture went black. It did too. Oh, why did that happen? Let me fix it. Okay. I didn't press any buttons, so hang on a sec. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I know why. It doesn't want me to record. Ah, dear. Well, I'll tell you what. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use another camera to record, and I'll show you what I'll do. Oh doesn't matter. Hang on. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, oh well, it's the camera. It doesn't want me to record. That's okay. All right. Okay. Thanks, Wendy. I'm not going to touch any button because something's going to happen. I'll know for next time. It's called practicing and learning. Okay. Well, you know me and buttons. They don't go well. Or I click the wrong ones. Anyway. So first of all, Tracy mentioned. Sorry, I want to go back. Tracy's doodling. Tracy, what are you doodling? Are you using ink, or are you using pencils or graphite? And Nanette, what are you watercolouring? Are you doing animals as well? I reckon you would be. And okay, thanks, Renata. Okay, so here what I'll do is, just so you can see what the picture is, because this is pastel pencil, you can see that I'll get this fellow's, I'm just looking at this fellow's, yeah, so yes, and so painting out of your comfort zone. Well, what I was doing, I was doing mixed media, and I knew that I was going to have a bit of trouble, but the good thing of what I was doing, or sorry, with the materials that I was using, the mediums, was that I knew how they work. So I knew what to layer and what not to layer. So so yes, so that's in this video, and it's a mixed media video. Are you starting to see what this guy now looks like? This might make it better for you to see. Yeah. And do I need this? I am. So working out of your comfort zone. When I was doing these this watercolor project, because it's something that I don't work with, like for example, if I wanted to say watercolor, because it's something that I don't normally work with, it wasn't doing the things that I want it to do. It had like a mind of its own. And then, or sometimes, but what I think with watercolor, it's the brush, it's the surface, and someone actually, the video that I've just uploaded, I was kind enough for someone to comment and said maybe, because I was using hot press paper, because that's something which I like using, but that person suggested cold press, and I'm thinking, yes, why not try that? And that's what I mean. It's all about the surfaces, and you know, and things like that. Nanette says, I did a bunny this week, then a few ducks. I'm in the Easter animals, it seems. If you've Nanette, if you've put them on Instagram, I'll have a look and see if you've uploaded anything. Wendy says, I see the man. Should have converted it to the dragon, says Wendy. Oh, Renata, a polar bear. Oh, yes. Yes. And of course, it's not white, is it? It's not white, and that's the tricky part. Nanette says, you covered that painting with pan pastel. Oh. You covered that painting with pan pastel. I will. Oh, yes, I will. I will cover this guy. But then he's sort of like in the mountain. And this is his, just so you can see, this is his moustache. He's got a moustache, by the way. A very hairy moustache, and there's you covered the painting. Oh, sorry, Nanette. Yes, I covered it with pan pastel. You know why? Because I got scared. I got scared. I go, oh, it's not looking. I was touching it up with pan pastels, and then I put it aside, and then I looked at it, and I'm thinking, you know, it doesn't really look like a night sky, and I got scared with watercolor. That's my excuse. Because I'm a beginner, so that's why. Yes, I did cover it with pan pastels. I did. Now I've got what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. And what time is it now? I think it's almost time for a glass of wine, but it's before 12 o'clock here, so I can't drink. Well, I can drink, but now it's away from me. Wendy says, referring to the polar bear or the other piece around the neck. Referring to the polar bear or the piece? Oh, no, oh, sorry. I was referring to my latest video that I uploaded. Wendy says, yes, I can. Nanette says it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'll have to send a text to my husband to bring me a glass of wine from the house. Oh, dear, dear. Okay, now it's time for me to use this contraption. Watch this. Can you hear that? Watch this. Can you see all the dust? But it does a bloody good job. Now, can I say that this is the rough? There's also smooth. Now, I don't use this, so I don't know. So I just thought there was one for everything. So, but look, there is dust. So that's how that works. It's a pumice stone. Yes, it's a pumice stone. Yes, it is. It's exactly right. It's a pumice stone. Yeah, it is. So, well, you know, I mean, hang on. Tracy, these are makeup brushes as well. I use these all the time. I use these all the time. Apart from other brushes, and I know some of the other people have seen it. We are enablers. Wendy, please explain. Isn't that a pumice stone for heels? Wendy says, you need a wine fridge in there. Keep telling you to put one in there, snacks too. But you know what? Yes. 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 Nanette says, it doesn't take much to amuse you. No. Well, I get excited about something like this because look, you know what? I've got sharpeners galore in here. Look at this. But you know what? This is a beauty. This is a little beauty. Get one of those. Get one of those. Oh, look. Okay. So, getting back to this. Yeah, getting back to your comfort zone. So, Annette says, oh, sorry, Annette. Wendy says, her mum says, hello, g'day, Wanda, how you going? Lynn, g'day, welcome. I bought the same brushes after watching you. I love them. I would love to know what you're doing with them, Lynn. Absolutely fantastic. G'day, Beverly. Hello from NC. New Caledonia? Could that be New Caledonia? No. Could it be? Maybe. Nanette says, I love it when you get excited about new things. Yes. Well, you would too if you struggled with these bloody pencils, honestly, because you spend half of the time sharpening because the pastel just keeps on falling. North Carolina. Sorry, Beverly. North Carolina, thank you. That's right, as in South Carolina. Of course. Why didn't I know? Why didn't I know that? Okay. So, but what I will do, Pastel Penguin right now. Okay. All right. So I'm actually going to be using these brushes, and you'll see how I apply them. And this is sort of goes like that. So I thought I'll just do this just so you can see the map of it all. Yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. She's my neighbour, says Annette. Lynn, yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So here we go. Now, what I've also got here is I'm using a bit of paper so I can mix colours, and with my, so I see this and I see, now this one is red iron oxide, red iron oxide extra dark, and I'll also be using burnt sienna tint, which looks to be about right, and I don't use white, or I avoid white, but in that place I use raw umber tint. So these are the colors that I'll be mixing with, and so the brushes, these ones here. Okay. Yes, sorry. Yeah. There we go. And what I do is I mix them. It might look like I need this as well. So I just wanted to see that you can see that I'm doing that. Lynn, if you've been using these makeup brushes, have you been mixing pan pastels, or is it pan pastels that you've been using, or have you been using something else when you're using them? Okay, so it looks like, and of course I got my paper towel so I can, if I've got any excess, there we go. I think this bit here is dark, so there you go. Okay, so Beverly says, nice about, oh, okay. We are going to try to move back. Oh, okay. So another thing, which I also wanted to talk about, was fixatives. Now, I don't like fixatives. I avoid them so much. And with Pastelmat, I don't even need to use them. I don't know. I suppose you would be using them if you were having problems, if you were mixing media. But I also did that, and I ended up not using fixative. But what I did, there is one fixative which I know, which people talk about, but I'll show you what I mean. First of all, some of the fixatives that I've been using in my studio is this one. It's a workable one. It's an Australian one. There's no name. Oh yeah, sorry, it's Micador. It's Micador one. Right, there's that. No, I don't like it. So there's that one. All right, another one which I don't mind, but there's this one here. And it's a workable one. And there's also a final one that you can get. This one is Helma Crystal Coty. Who knows if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And, you know, they all say non-yellowing and all of that, but really? Really? So, as you can see, it's full. I don't use it. Now, I've bought another one which I'm going to try. As you can see, I'm trying as many as possible. And now this one, a fixative by Winsor & Newton. Now you would think that this has to work, but it also says protects drawings from smudging and dust. So I suppose you could use it on your pencil artwork or pencil drawings. But Wendy asks, have you gotten your spray bottle to try I can't even say it. Spectrafix. Jeepers creepers. Can't even say it. There's Spectrafix. Now, we all know that if you use that, it just spits out little dots and stuff like that. But look what I've got. Now this is a spray bottle that's fine mist. Now I've got water in this because I was playing around with it. I haven't filled, I bought two, one for water. This was Wendy's suggestion. Thanks, Wendy. I bought two of these, and these are boring. They're not color thing. All I've got to do is just put a little tag saying that one is water and one is Spectrafix. I've got, Nanette says, Wendy says yes, and Nanette says, oh, I've got some, and the handy spray bottle too. Oh, well, you see, I haven't used it, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to do a test, okay? And this would probably be good on some of the other pastel surfaces that unlike Pastelmat, sorry, I couldn't even think of the word. So there you go. I did buy it. So so there you go. And that I purchased from the UK because I could not find it here in Australia. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at my settings here, making sure that my internet is good. Beverly says, mine will be here next week. Oh, and hope to get there good. Oh, wonderful. Nanette says, I found that it pushed the pastel deep into the surface and I lost a lot of color. Oh, okay, well, that's why I'm going to test it out. Sorry, Nanette, you were using UART 800. Oh, g'day, Jeff, back from brekkie. Oh, thank you for being so patient and stopping by. I've got a pastel painting going, and lots of other things that we've been talking about, so I'll chop and change, and I'll come back to some of the things if you've missed them. But just for you, Jeff, a pastel painting. I'm practicing landscapes, rocks, because I've got this great big picture that my painting from my playing card deck, and I'm just using this as a practice just to get into the idea of highlights. And you know, rocks is hard for me. In fact, landscapes are hard for me. So yeah, so there you go. Okay. Just bear with me just for a moment. Just bear with me. Okay. All right. Wendy says Jeff had to get in his brownie points today. Beverly says someone said use hairspray. What do you think? No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No. It's not archival. Who told you? No, 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 no. I even tried it once many moons ago, and it just, well, first of all, it had a funny gloss, and it just wasn't good at all. Yeah, not good at all. G'day Tamara. Finally able to see Chrissy live. Been a while. Thank you for popping by. Had a few IT issues, but all good now. So what I'm trying to do is, let me see. Okay. All right. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just looking at my I'm just looking at my reference and trying to sort it all out. That's all. Okay, well, I'm back here. Now, the reference photo that I've got is from, it's Pixabay, and it's in the fantasy section. So if you go over there, I'm pretty sure that you might see him there. It's in the fantasy section or mystery session. Okay, so I'm back to this. So well, at least I'm not drawing animals, because I know what happens with animals. They don't start off very well. So what I'll do is I'll try to get his eye in, just so you can. Well, it's going to make me feel a little better if I can see his eye, and it'll make me work a little bit better. And this is another brush that I use. This is one from De La Rowney. Also got that one from the UK. Seems like I do a lot of shopping, but anyway, and I use that. It's so tiny. I don't know if you can see. It is so tiny. Oops, so tiny that it's great for detail. And it's the only one I've got, so I need to buy a few more in case I lose it, which is very probable. Okay, so the fixatives, yeah, I just would not. So I'm going to try that, and I'm going to report back. It's only because of the spray, because I've used. Sorry, let me have a look. I've used Spectrafix like that, and I didn't like it because of the way it's sprayed. So Jeff, because you've just come in, and that's what I'm going to use. And this one I got from the UK, so I'm going to empty that in there. Okay, back again. Okay. Tamara says, was that Steve? Is that Steve? G'day, Steve. How you going, mate? Nice of you to pop by. I hope all is well on your side of the fence. You know what I mean. You need 2 screens, says Wendy. I need 3 screens, 2 screens. Tamara says, I see I've got a few videos to catch up with you and Wendy. Yes. Jeff says, got some Pastelmat this week, tends to rip my pastel pads a bit. Any suggestions? Hang on. Got some Pastelmat this week, tends to rip my pan pads a bit. Any suggestions? Okay, this is Pastelmat. Oh, you mean, oh, I see. Yes, yes. You mean something like this. You'll see where there's a bit of powder. Is that what you mean, Jeff? And when you use, is that what you mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, you'll have that when you're using brushes. You'll get that. But if you're using the soft tools, you won't have that problem. It'll be nice and smooth. But let me see. Hope you're getting better, Steve. Yes. Wendy. Oh, Wendy says soft tool pads. Oh, I'm glad I've got translators because I'm not with the. Yes. Is yes. It does. Can I show you something? Look at that. That is my used pastel, my pan pastel soft tools, and it does rip on some of them. I'm trying to pull out one that it's munched up. Are you kidding me? Oh, here we go. Oh, that's not even a good example. But the answer is yes. The answer is yes. It does. Oh, hang on, I found one. Yeah, see? It does. But that's okay because I expect that. I expect that. But Pastelmat is the most softest one of all out of the what you would call the sanded papers, and I would imagine using these on UArt. Oh my goodness, you just do a few strokes and it's torn. But I'll tell you what, I have been. These are the same brushes that I used on my animals, my element animals. That great big painting. Also on my ladies, I use these, and look, they're still intact, and I'm still going. I've done some other projects since then, so I'd go for these if you can. And plus, you could use. There are 2 ends, you know, for the softer things, but I use all 3. I'm sorry, all 3. All 3. Sorry, yes, the makeup brushes, the ordinary Taklon brushes, acrylic Taklon brushes, and the soft tools. I use a combination. And I mean, you could use all sorts of things. I mean, you know, but in case you've noticed, Pastelmat is one of my favorites. So, okay. Let me see, have I missed anyone? I need, okay. Sorry, I'm just going to go back, get some Pastelmat. Okay. Are you feeling better? Oh, sorry. Are you feeling better, Steve? Wendy says soft tools. Yes, I've gone past that. Sorry. No, it's the applicator pads. Yep, I got that. Lynn says you need to go very lightly with those pads. Yes, you do. you do, but then sometimes I get a bit aggressive with it and I just go for it. I just risk ruining them. And I do, like that great big jar that I've just put over there, I will wash all of those, reuse them. If they're good enough for another go, then I will. If not, then I'll just give it the flick. I'll chuck it. You need to go very lightly with those pads. Yep, Beverly. Can you please say hello to my grandmother Gage? He is 5. Can't even read either. My grandson. G'day, Gage. How you going? Is it Gage or Gabe? G'day. Have you been doing some art as well? Sorry. Wendy says, I'd say it is that the American translation thing, but Jeff is Aussie, so Chrissy has no excuse. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. It is Gage. Okay. Steve says, haven't picked up a pencil in 3 weeks. I'm really itching to get back at it. Yes, Wendy, I want to finish that dad burn dog. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You guys having a project there. Nanette says, I just found your reference photo. Oh, you beauty. Fantastic. How am I going, Nanette? How am I going with it? Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Pixabay is a royalty-free site, and this image, because I didn't want to concentrate and put anything together, this is very much something which I like to paint a little bit out there, not your normal everyday thing. And so, Nanette, what do you think of that? I just found your reference photo. Wonderful, wonderful. Tracy says, do you purchase your Pastelmat here in Australia? Yes, I do. I purchased them from Soft Tools Australia, which is only, you wouldn't believe it, a hop, skip and a jump away from me, from my work. So in my lunch break, I steal an hour or so and I go in there and I immerse myself in that place and just spend more money. But yes. But these people, what I might do is I might put all the links and all of that stuff in the description box below after the stream, and I'll add where you can get that paper. They also have so many different kinds of papers as well. They get theirs from Europe, so anywhere, anyone can purchase. Soft Tools. Soft Pastels Australia send international, so you will be able to get if you go on their site. Nanette says, oh, it looks great. Oh, thank you. Now I get it. Okay. Sorry. Well, I tell you what, next time if I get fancy with this software, I'll be throwing so many things, so many pictures and so many things up there, you'll be going, hang on, where's your artwork? Wendy says, Chrissy has been keeping me busy with projects as well. She likes to kick my butt in gear. Absolutely. Okay. I haven't done much artwork. I've just been gas bagging a lot. What I'll do is I'll do this. I'm not going to get pastel in my, but I'm going to get oil. I don't want to get oil on here. Okay. What I wanted to talk about is next week. If you can all be patient with me, next week again. Next week, when I say we, Wendy and I, we're going to live stream another conversation with segment, and I'll give you a hint as to what we're going to talk about. Starts with an M. Oh, bugger it. Mixed media. We're going to talk about mixed media, but we're going to talk mixed media with what we have in our studio, because mixed media it's just so, there's just so much out there and you can do so many things. Where do you start and where do you end? So Wendy and I, we're going away and we're going to do our thing, right? She doesn't really know what I'm doing and I don't really know what she's doing, but we're using, I think we're using the same image, and we're going to use different mixed media and see how they all work. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to come back and we're going to show you, and we're going to tell you about what our thoughts were. So it would be really great if you guys can visit us or visit again, and I'll put all the details and all of that. I'll a notification up so you can actually click into the stream. But who knows which hopefully we'll connect, okay? Fingers crossed. Steve says, I have the feeling you both kick each other's butt. What are friends for? Yep. Wendy says, does anyone have a problem with Glassine picking up stuff and transferring to other parts of your artwork? What we have in our... Wendy also says what we have in our studio, but yeah, right. And Steve also says that's true. Okay, now, Glassine. Wendy was talking to me about it a while back, or not that far back, but she's been having problems with Glassine, and it seems to smudge. I don't seem to be having that problem. I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm not doing. I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm not doing, so I don't have that problem. And I've been using this from the last 2 projects, so yeah. Okay, so I better get into this, and you guys can tell me what I'm doing wrong or not wrong. Oh yeah, so when I go back to, I'll go back to Pixabay. So if anyone wanted to, Pixabay is a free, so it's a royalty-free site, and I just encourage you to go there and have a look and, you know, have a look at, because sometimes like we have to be very careful on when we're painting paintings, and if you're using reference, you know, you have to be careful with reference photos. You know, you could maybe, if that's why there are royalty-free sites. There's quite a few. There's Storyblocks, which I subscribe to. There's Deposit Photos, which I subscribe to. There's Pixabay. By the way, Storyblocks used to be graphic stock, yeah. And like Pixabay is totally free, you know. Or if you go, if someone has taken a photo, perhaps maybe. Now look, I haven't done. I mean, I'm just about to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I've actually seen a few images, like on some Instagram accounts and certain other photographic websites, and I've actually sent an email asking if I could use their photo for a reference. Now, they haven't come back to me, so I can't. Oh, and Jeff says, paint my photo as well. Yes, absolutely. With Paint My Photo, they're quite happy for you to do anything, provided that you just give them credit wherever you are posting them. Yes. Oh yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, that's right. And so I sent an email asking if I could use their, because I really like this some of these images, and they haven't come back to me. So that means I can't use them. You see. If they come back to me and said, "Yep, all good," you know, that would be my advice anyway. Wendy says, I used to use story blocks, had a big go around with them and no longer a member, will not go back to them ever either. Oh, well, I know why, because, well, I don't know why, but what happened was there would be a subscription. You would pay like a subscription, but then they changed a few things around, and there are ones that members can use, and then there are ones where you have to pay if you're a member. So you would assume that if you're a member, that and they've said, yep, you can use everything here, but then they changed their rules. And I don't even know if that made sense, what I just said. It went all right in my head. Yeah, no, what happened was that you would pay for a subscription. They changed their name, they changed a few things. And now, yeah, when you go on their site, even though you're a member, you've still got to pay for certain images. So that's what I think is, is that what you're referring to, Wendy? Could that be it? Have to be careful with Paint My Photo. There has been a couple of problems recently. Hard to trust them now. Oh, serious? Oh, okay. But what happens but with Paint, I think you've got to read the guidelines. Oh, g'day Hildy, how you going? G'day, welcome. Lovely to see you here. Wonderful. You've been busy. I've seen your owl. It looks gorgeous, and it is a big one it's a very big one with coloured pencil too. Man, that's patience for you. Absolutely. It looks absolutely fantastic. Okay, so, well, Nanette, seeing as that you know what my reference, next time I do this, I'll try to put my reference photo up while I'm working so you can see what I'm looking at. I think I'll do that. Yeah. Oh yeah, so that's what's going to happen next week. Wendy and I are going to talk about mixed media. This will be good. I'll be having a glass of wine there for sure, because I reckon by the time I get on there, I'm going to need it. And perhaps you can join me too. That was one issue. Wendy says that was one issue, but I had a couple of others that I couldn't get past. They were kind enough to resolve the issue to my satisfaction though. Wow. Okay. All right. So see how it was Lynn. Lynn, if you're still watching, see how these brushes work? Is that how you're working with? Is that how they work with you? Now, see, I'm putting quite a lot of layers, but it does work slow. It does work slow, but I'm happy with that. When you use these, the soft tools, the sponges, you can just do one great big sweep, and that's great, and I love them for that. But what happens if I wanted to do like a nice little detail, just even a speck? And I know what you're going to tell me. There are these applicators, and there's a little teeny one as well. The little teeny ones. Hang on, let me get it, because there's these. But that's the smallest. That's the smallest Pan Pastel Go. So I wanted something even teenier than that. But then you're going to tell me, ah, yes, Chrissy, but you've also got pastel pencils. And yes, you are correct in saying that. But I like the versatility of all of them because I use all of them. What I find is that I end up using pastel pencils afterwards. Like here, for example. And this section, it's not finished. It's about 90% or so. Once I paint this fellow in, I'm going to look at my painting, and then I'm going to start from here, and I'll just be working my way and getting in more detail. And with this one, I've actually really got to get more detail because it's just practice for me, really. Oh, and sorry, and the pastel pencils that I've got here that I'm using are Stabilo, Carbothello. I also use Conti's. I also use Derwent pastel pencil, and I also use Faber the Pit pastel. What else can I show? Oh yes, and one more. I've got heaps, and I don't have all. I've still got to get a couple more that I want, but they're just too expensive. I want to get the Caran d'Ache Rolls-Royce. That would be the Rolls-Royce of pastel pencils. But anyway, but the Brunswick, these are gorgeous. I recommend. I love using these together. The Faber-Castell, and of course they're from Holland, Brunswick. They are gorgeous. They also make colour pencil, but they're just beautiful, just gorgeous. Anyway, so sound like a bloody commercial, don't I? I can assure you they're not paying me. They wouldn't even know that. Anyway, so I'll put that back, and this is what I want. Okay, so distracted again. Here we go. Okay, I'll just have a look. Wendy says, that's because I will drive you nuts before you go live. Oh, that's right. We're going back before. Oh yeah, the drink and the mixed meat and next week's live stream. Hey Chrissy. Hey Chris. Oh, yes, Chrissy. Nothing works as well as makeup brushes. You little beauty. Wow. Wow. I'm so glad you like them. You know what? I just wanted to share. Like I'm telling everyone about them. They're probably bored of me saying it. And Wendy says, hey, wait a minute. Though you were going to start with hair first from now on. I know, but he doesn't have hair. Okay? Wendy, he doesn't have hair. Oh, you need to get the Gioconda. Yes, that's another one. I'm going to see. There are so many out there. There's no way. I have to put that on my wish list. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, they work really well. You can just, they clean well as well. I haven't cleaned them yet, but you can. Oh, geez. Hang on. Okay. This is this fellow's eye. I just want to, this is part of his eye here. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. So has anybody got any questions about pastels or pan pastels and soft pastels? For those of you that don't use them, or if you've used pastels, what's your favorite thing to paint and draw with pastels, perhaps? Wendy says, so is your wish list longer or shorter than the supplies you currently have, including duplicates? My wish list, I want, there's some new Derwent pencils, coloured pencils coming out July, I think it's July, and they're all light fast, or not all, but I think a good deal, a lot of them are. So I'm saving my pennies up for that one. What else am I saving up for? I also wanted to get a digital tablet, but that's far away. I'd like to I'd like to get that. Tamara says, I'm working in acrylic right now, itching to get back into the pastels. Oh wow, what are you doing on acrylic? Because that's something I want to get into, and I bought acrylics and I'm ready to do an acrylic painting. But that's on my list to do as well. This is, you know, so much art, so little time. That's all I've got to say. I've got so much to do. I want to do so much, but I've got to be patient and I've got to be real. So, and see, with this brush, now it's going on it's like colored pencil actually. It's about as slow as colored pencil, maybe just a little bit faster. But on this paper, I'm actually putting quite a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers on this area here, and I'm nowhere near. I can actually put on another lot. There might be about 10 or so layers just on this side. Yeah, so what I'll see if I can, I'm going to try to get this area done today. Wendy says, what other mediums in working in acrylic? Oh yeah. Wendy says, what other mediums do you like to use with pastel? Colored pencil, Wendy. I like to use colored pencil. I don't, have I tried? Oh yes, and I've also tried watercolor pencils, the Caran d'Ache Supra color ones, but I didn't blend them, so I can't say. What other mediums do you like? I can't say whether I liked it too much. It was just different, but definitely colored pencil. Oh yes, definitely. Would you save so much time with that tablet? Oh, you would save so much time with that tablet. Tamara says bumblebees. Oh wow. Oh wow. Little ones or maybe a bigger one perhaps. And Wendy says July is when those colour pencils are coming out. Again, can't wait for them to come out. Wendy says, hey, we can all have an acrylic painting party on Google Hangouts. Now, wouldn't that be good? You know what? We could have like, I think there's, I'm not quite sure how many screens you could have, but you could have like half a dozen screens. I think it's about up to 6. I'm not sure. That would be fun. Oh yeah, could you imagine? Beverly says, I do oil, acrylic and soft pastel. Can't wait to try pan pastels. You know what, Beverly? I started art with oil paints. In fact, no, colour pencil, but oil paints. And I did that for a very long time until I discovered pastels about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and then discovered pan pastels, you know, probably in the last 3 years, something like that. And I just mix them all. I use them. I get the benefit out of all of them. Tamara says, get a blush brush for blending acrylics. The hairs don't shed. Yes. Yes. See? You can use so many things. Yes, I know. The shedding of the brushes, like the bristles, oh, it drives me nuts when I'm trying to, and you're always picking it off the canvas like that, aren't you? Yeah. 9. Wendy, 9. 9? Oh, 9. So the penny drops. It's okay. 9 people can be on a Google Hangout. Oh my goodness, that's like a team. Is that a soccer team? It's a team of something. Jeff says, have you tried colour pencils on Pastelmat? Yes, I have. And I have a video with that as well. So what I might do is I might even put a pop-up link at some point, and when I go back and fix this video, or you could actually go and have a look at there's a video where there's an eye I show you how I combine pan pastels with color pencils, and with the color pencils there I used the Pablos, Caran d'Ache's Pablos for those from memory. Lynn says my rule for brushes is if it's soft enough for my face, absolutely. It is really cool, really cool. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this is where my little brushes now start to come into play, where I want to get all of these little, well, I just want to, and the reason why I'm marking this is so I know where it is. And if I don't have a color that I want, I use my little palette, as you can see, my little palette, and I mix things and I get the color that I want. So, and that's the good thing with with pan pastels, is that you can have a limited palette and maybe grab maybe, I don't know, 12 pastels. If you're doing portraiture, you can then grab 12 colors which you think that you might need, and then you can mix and match them. Most definite. And see how they blend really nicely. Really nicely. Wendy says, I love my Pablos. What kind of paper is that palette? Oh, it's just a normal cartridge. This one is like a normal, it's a cheap journal paper, but it's paper that I wouldn't use for anything other than, you know, just scribble paper. But it's got a nice texture. I discovered that it's got a nice texture, and it's really nice for blending. It's sort of a bit soft, whereas I think cartridge paper is a bit hard. Yeah, so because I think that's important too. It's got to be able to okay. Okay, there's a highlight bit here. I think I need my other one. Yeah, so mixing, which is I mean, I love, you know what, pastels I've got, I love soft pastels, I love hard pastels, I love oil pastels too. All of them have their place, but I think with this kind of technique, soft pastels don't, you can't do this sort of thing with soft pastels. I've tried it, I haven't been as successful, but you get a lovely gradation when you do it like this. And I think it's the brushes that's letting me have that control, because I paint tightly. I like to be able, and I've seen some beautiful work where people just go whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. There it is, and you can actually see what it is. I'd like to be one of those people. And I try to do that, and that's why I try to get out of my comfort zone every now and again, if I can do that. So there we go. How often do you, Wendy asks, how often do you use water-soluble pastels? Yes, water-soluble pastels are pastels like Unison soft pastels, pastels like Sennelier, Schminke. I may not be saying it right either. Schminker. Who knows? If there's someone, if Renata's still in the chat, she might be able to correct me. Schminker. How often, now in the answer to your question, how often do you use water-soluble? It all depends, Wendy. I think here I used pan pastels to cover my background. They're really good for the soft pastels. People that don't have the pan pastels might be a good idea to use that. I don't use that technique very often, but I do use it. but because I've got these, I lean towards that. But I do have a few projects which I've done. In fact, one of my Jack of Clubs, I've used water with soft pastels in that one, and it came out beautiful. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, really enjoyed that too. And a while back I did a warrior. Again, this is going back. Now I do have a video where I use soft pastels, and I used this brush, I think, this brush or a little brush, and I used water. Yeah, and so what happened was I would let it dry, and then go back on again, another layer. Yeah. Renata says, oh, Renata, how do I pronounce schminky? Is it schminky? Schminka? Schminka? You can tell me. You're good at correcting me with the German pronunciations. Okay, so I'm still here on the nose. I haven't done much here, have I? Sorry. And I don't use much black either. So this bit here is very, very dark, but I can see I may have to use black in this area here, but I try not to use, although I used it yesterday, but I try not to use black on its own. It just deadens it a bit. Oh, and of course it erases very well. Jeff, as you can see, there you go. It erases very well because you mentioned that you just got some you got Pastelmat, so does a very good job with that. Oh, Renata says no E at the end. Schmink. Is that how you say it? Schmink. Yes? Chrissy, you've got pretty hands. Oh, thank you. It's called moisturizer. Really? Okay. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Thanks. Okay. So it's pronounced, Renata says, so it's pronounced schmink. Schmink. Schmink? Oh no. Sorry. Wendy says, so it's pronounced schmink. Mine is stubby. Okay. So here, I'm just going to mix this because I see something here, which I haven't got the right tone here, but Renata says, schminky, you pronounce the E. Schminke. Schminke? Beverly says, Gage said he likes your glasses because they are red. You like them? Gage, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. You're very smooth, aren't you? You'll get on. There you go. But these glasses, my family make fun of me. My workmates make fun of me because it reminds them of Dame Edna Everage. Now she's Australian, but she's global, and she has weird glasses with weird hair. So, very funny person. Very funny person. Right. Oh, I was right. Hang on. I'll go back again. Schminke. Schminke. Okay. Now, you know, Renata, I'm going to forget how to do it, so you're just going to have to keep on. Hopefully I won't, because I like to pronounce things correctly. Because then I get told off that I'm not pronouncing things right. Yeah, my glasses. But you know what? These glasses, I can see out of them, which is fantastic. I can see here. I can see a little bit further away from me, but I can't use them when I'm driving. So, but thank you for that. He says you're welcome. He's a flirt. They start young, don't they? Or they start young, they forget, and then they figure it out when they're older, I think. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. All right. So this bit here, Wendy says, who wants to see highly overrated, much like breathing and walking, oh, and sleeping. Oh, sleeping. I don't sleep. Well, I do because I have to, but because what happens sometimes when because I want to do so much art, so when I finish work, I make sure that everybody's got their dinner, and then I just come back into my art room and I stay here until I forget what time it is, and it happens a lot. So how long have I been streaming? Started streaming an hour ago. Oh, that's okay. We're still going okay. Are you guys still okay for me to be streaming? Okay, this needs something a little bit lighter here. Renata says, a lot of German people are irritated about Schminke. The German name for makeup is Schminke. Is it? Oh, Schminke. Oh, the spelling. Do you mean people are irritated about Schminke? The German name for makeup is Schmink. Okay. Makeup. Makeup. Is there Schminky makeup? Is there really? It's the same pronunciation. Oh, I see, I see. Oh, okay. Right, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Yeah, trying to pronounce something correctly. I think I always try, but you know how it is. So there's this bit here, which I don't think I've got right. And of course, when you can use this, you can blend this way too. There you go. And it's like when you blend on when I blend on the other side, it reminds me of when you blend with acrylics or oils, and you wanted to do like a nice little soft, blend. That's what that reminds me of with when I paint with oils. Yeah. 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 So what are the other things which I wanted to talk about? Yeah. Oh, I've done all of that. I think I've mentioned all the things that I wanted to talk about. Have any of you guys got any questions for me that you think I might be able to answer? Just a bit. Okay, here I am. Yeah, and also something to always think about too. If you're using brushes with pan pastels, it's going to have the dust still on your pan, but that's okay. That's okay. Say hello to Wanda for me, Wendy. Steve says, start with M. First comes to mind, mad women of art and their supplies. Well, I got to say, I'm not as mad as some, but mad enough, crazy enough. Well, I've stopped buying fashion and dresses and stuff like that, and I just buy this stuff. There we go. Now that's starting to look something here. Yeah. So, well, you see, this is well, I tell you what. Now, Steve, that you've brought up art supplies, and I know I talked about it. I've talked about it before, and I talked about it with Wendy's, and when we did a live stream with Wendy, when we were talking about paper swatches, and that being a segment where. And I talked about what that segment was all about. See, apart from doing these kind of streams, the stream that I'll be doing with Wendy is one that, well, first let me go back. I was thinking about, okay, jeepers creepers, we've got so many art supplies, and I thought, okay, wouldn't it be good if we could just talk about art supplies and what we thought, and maybe share what we know, or people that can come on the chat and actually share what they know. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be a good idea? Because, you know, sometimes like you don't know how to do something, so you might Google it, or you might YouTube it and go, how does this go with that, or how does that go with that? And I mean, that's how I do a lot of things, of course. But I thought, I've accumulated so many art supplies, and I thought, wouldn't it be good if we could just do a segment? I just wanted to do a segment on that, and that's when I thought of Wendy, and I thought of a few other people too as well, which we'd like to get on as well. But Wendy was my first choice, and so I asked her, and she said, you know what? She says, that's a great idea. She goes, yeah, no worries, I'd love to do that. And so we thought, well, if that's the case, then we'll just talk about the art supplies that we have in our studios. Now, Wendy has a lot of stuff. I have stuff, but she's got more. So that's when. So that's how all of this came about. And so what we'll do is, from now on, and we'll see how we go. I'd like to do them more frequently, but at the moment we'll just do them maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks or something. We'll see how we go, provided that, you know, everything works out. But yeah, that's what we'd like to do, and just talk about the different things that we find with art supplies. And so that's why again, because I know I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again for those people that have just come into the stream. We'll be talking about mixed media, about the media that we have in our studios. So there. Or what would be a good thing is that you could also let us know, perhaps maybe in the future, you could actually let us know what you'd like us to talk about as well. And we could go away and Wendy and I can do our homework and do things like that, and come back and tell you what our findings were. Or maybe if you like, you can be a guest on our live stream. Now that would be a challenge, provided that I can get all the mechanisms going. Okay. Yeah. Wendy says, but how can you pass up the deals I have been getting? Come on. I know, you get them dirt cheap. Like, you get them for half the price. Beverly says, you would love mine if you count on the fabric for sewing, knitting, scan and cut thing, and woodworking. Love the craft room. Oh, you know what? I love craft as well. I love craft as well. Scrapbooking, I used to do that a lot. I love it as well. Wendy says, Chrissy likes homework. Sometimes. Sometimes. Steve says, I must be ill. I passed up getting some things on sale. Didn't order a thing. That's okay. That's okay. We should all have a hotline like all of us here in the chat, we should have a hotline to Wendy, and whenever a deal comes up, she will just all notify us. How about that? Yeah. Okay, so now unfortunately I'm all over the place here because normally what I'd like to do is just outline all my darks and do all my lights and then go on the mediums, but I just wanted you to get an idea of what this fellow is going to look like, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Yeah. Yeah. And here we go. See the detail that you can see this little brush? If you can find this brush, now this is Dale Rowney, an 1/8 of an inch, and it's like a little dagger. If you can get your hands on this for people that are wanting to do this kind of thing, I would get one. In fact, I'm going to have to go online and get a handful of these because they are so valuable to me. Yeah. Wendy says, my deal of the week was Derwent watercolor pencils for $1 a pencil. Check this one, the watercolor ones by Derwent. I think Wendy mentioned to me a while ago, $51, was it? 57? Or less than that, and I think that was on a deal. Steve goes, easy, have enough of them already. The brushes or the pencils. Wendy says it was on Amazon only for about 12 hours. Do you see what I mean? Like, you need a hotline. We all need a hotline. You know, the bat phone. Maybe the Wendy phone. Okay. There we go, and this is his eyebrow, and his eyebrow, I'm not going to do that just yet. I think it's going to pose a problem for me. And there. And you could also mix on here. Well, see, you could also mix, which I do quite a lot as well. Nanette says, I have a birthday coming up. Find me a great deal, Wendy. Quick. Wendy says, what do you want? I'll keep my eye out for you. Just let me know what you want. Yep. So what I'll do here, I think what I'll do here is I'll go dark here for his eyebrow, and then I'll go light with pastel pencil on top, but I'll just leave this for a while. So as you can see, I am just, all this is just almost like a base coat, an undercoat, however coat you want to use, but it's just a layer underneath. And I'll do his bags under his eyes, I think. Nanette says, I feel like I have everything. You think that you have everything. Just when you think that you've got so much. And just, here we go. I just want to keep that there because it's like a map for me, so I know what, that's the wrinkle. Yeah, this is an elderly gentleman. Okay. Oh, and just letting you know that, you know, I'm still doing my cards as well. I've but I'm yeah, like I said, I'm using this as practice, but I'm up to my aces, and they're all mini they're mini landscapes. So, and they're not as detailed as my face cards, but detailed enough. You know, detailed enough. Yeah, so I'm doing that. I've got my next one is my Ace of Hearts, and that's water. And the hearts is the water. And oh, and I've got to tell you, I'm actually going to I may have to do a few of these again, only because from practicing I've actually found that I may have to redo a few or touch up a few. But it's a good thing I've given myself some time, plenty of time. So hopefully by the end of this year we'll be playing poker. Well, I'll be anyway. Or gin rummy, or canasta, or I don't know, things like that. Okay. Here we go. This is a dark bit here. And all of this here is actually going to rock, if I can get it right. Okay. Oh, missed something. And it says I have everything. Steve says I do need to get a good sharpener that will give me the long fine point with my colour pencils. I have the Creative Marks multi-point professional, but it doesn't get them to that real fine point. Okay. Steve, before you came in, there were I was talking about sharpeners. Now this is not colour pencil, but first of all I've got to show you. Now you're going to say, what the hell is that? And I'll tell you, it's to remove dry skin. It's like a pumice stone. Now I can't take the credit for discovering this. It was a nice gentleman by the name of Gary, who, another artist, who when I was talking about sharpeners, he goes, you have to try this. Sorry, but this is the rough one. There's also a smooth one, and that's for pastel pencils. I don't think I would use this for color pencils, but I just wanted to mention sharpener. But another sharpener I think that you should try, and if you can get your hands on it, this one. Really good, really, really good, really good. You'll get a very sharp, and it's quite heavy and sturdy. So I would try that. I mean, I've got a lot of sharpeners. I've got so many. Nanette says, well, I don't have a fancy new pink pencil sharpener. Nanette, so do I. Let me see. Oh, hang on, I missed it. I went up too far. Hang on. So do I, but then I run across something and I'm like, oh, I don't have that. Just got a Tombow 10 marker double-sided pens, grey tones. That was on a 4-hour deal. Another deal. Wendy says, I have the Creative Mark 1 too. Didn't last very long. Still use it occasionally. I do like the Helix. Have you looked for a Helix in pink? It's pretty good sharpener and comes in various colours. Wendy says, oh, I like Canaster, but not with Tim. Why, does he cheat? I don't like the way he plays the game. Which Helix, says Steve. I also bought an X-Acto electric and it was the biggest piece of junk. Yes, and I took it back. It is junk, Steve. Yes. Still have it though. It's probably, you could use it as a paperweight. Maybe. X-Acto, and it was the biggest piece of junk. I still have it though. I have no idea why I do. Lynn says, I use School Smart electric sharpener. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, School Smart. I'm writing that one down. School Smart sharpener. Because amongst paper, pastels and other art supplies, I've also, I think I could be known as having a fetish for sharpeners as well, because I've tried them all. But maybe I have great expectations. I think that's the thing. Yes, I think that's the thing. I mean, I use my cheapie, this one, and I talk about it quite a bit, and after each project I just chuck it because it's about $2.50 here. I'd rather have sharp pencils. Steve says, oh yeah, sorry. Oh, Wendy says, oh no. Oh yeah, Wendy says, I love my X-Acto School Pro, the Helix A5 Premium. I have the Derwent one, like what Chrissy has, but it won't stop automatically like it's supposed to. Yes, that is true. But the pencils are sharp. Nanette, did you ever get your cats that wine? Beverly says, Gage said good night. He's going to bed. Good night, Gage. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you soon one day when your nan is or your grandma is looking after you. Nice to see you. Nanette says, no, I'm sitting here waiting for them to get some wine for me. Oh boy. Steve, I just want a good sharpener that I hand crank, and it will get my color pencils to that very fine sharp. Try that one. That Derwent one, Steve. And knowing you guys will probably in the States get it cheaper. Chrissy, how long have you been using your Super Point? Are you saying that one? Yep. Probably about a month or so, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. It is fantastic. The only thing I'm just going to think about is when that little rotary blade, I don't know what to do with that. I have gone through 2 already. 2! Ah, I wonder if it's how often I use it then. Because I'm not always doing coloured pencil, although I have used it on with pastel pencils. Should I show you how it is with pastel pencils? Perhaps maybe I should do that. I'll get a blunt one and let's have a go. Now the table might shake, so hang on a sec. How do I do it so you can see? Here we go. Now it's not going to, you see, it didn't stop. It didn't tell me to stop. But look at that. How about that? Okay, so that's pastel pencil. Jeepers, that's pointy. Okay, so now a coloured pencil. Let me just get a coloured pencil out. Not that one. Actually, I should try this one. It's a Prismacolor one. What's the bet? Let's bet it breaks. Okay. Oh, I'm just trying to find a pencil. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is Pablo Carandache pencil. Let's have a go at that one. It's not telling me when to stop, so there you go. How about that one? So that's Pablo. That's a pencil, very good quality pencil. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's try a Prismacolor one. So not fair. Here we go. Here. Putting this one to the test. Oh my goodness. Didn't break. But look at the point. So what do you think of that? Okay. So that's the points I'm getting. They're the points I'm getting with that sharpener. Not bad. All right. So, 3 months, sorry, have gone through 2 already. 3 months, they stop working for me. Me anyway. Oh. Yeah, I think it depends on how often you use them. I think that's what it is. If you're a color pencil artist, you would be constantly going through that. I'll have to see. I'll have to find if I can find a replacement rotary thing. I have a Derwent pencil sharpener I like. Oh, wonderful. Is that the same one, Beverly? Like I just showed you. Lynn says I only use it for Pastel Pit and Carbothello. Oh, okay. You know what would be a good idea too is every now and again to put a graphite woodless pencil which sharpens the blades. I've heard that trick. I'm just trying to show you. This is a woodless graphite pencil. It's all graphite, and I put that through the sharpener. But that's not for me to use. It's for me to sharpen the little rotary blades that are in there. So in between each pastel pencil or every few sharpenings, I would use that. Yeah, so that's a trick. I don't know if it works. I tried it. It's something. Steve says, for your color pencils, I've been looking I've been looking at the Derwent one, but want to see what others experience with them with color pencils. Does it get them to that fine point? Renata says, if I don't get the result I want with my sharpener, I use it with hard graphite in between. That sharpens the blade again. Oh yeah, well there you go. Sorry I didn't read that, Renata. Well there you go. There's somebody else who says that too. Yeah. Wendy says, I prefer the sharpeners that stop automatically. That way you don't blow through your pencils as fast. Yep, I know that too. So if Steve says, if I Google it, do I Google smart? Do I Google smart, school smart? I'm not sure. I'm going to have a look later. I use it for all my art pens. Okay. Lynn says, I use graphite. It still stops after a while. Oh, okay. You should use the graphite. Says Wendy. I challenge you to a graphite. To a graphite challenge. Ooh. We should have a look at that. We should do that. Yeah, do it. Steve says, I agree with you. It needs to stop automatically. I know, but you know, what's better? A pencil that is sharp, or one that you still have to wait for it to stop? I don't know. Especially the softer pastel pencils stuck between the blades. Yes, they do. Okay. Well, there's something. So there you go. So, Steve, there's always this. I know. You're going to say, what is that? But I've been sharpening my pastel pencils with that. Yep. Okay. Back to my mountain man. Here we go. I need to do something up here now. Here we go. Oh, g'day Elise, how you going? Nice to see you. Welcome. What time is it over there in Malaysia? So I think, oh, you're just going to have breakfast now, aren't you? That's the coolest sharpener I've ever seen. It is a weird sharpener. If you do pastels and pastel pencils, and if you got it over there, you should get it, because it's actually quite good. It's actually quite good. Where was I going with this now? What was I doing here? Oh, here we go. So, Steve says, thanks, I'm leaning towards the Derwent one more and more. Wendy says 9:30 a.m. for her. Oh, okay. Have I got it wrong? Oh no, because we haven't gone west. Oh, okay. Is it? Because can't even talk. Our daylight saving ends the end of March, and I'm not quite sure what happens in the for the rest of the world. Here in Australia, our daylight I can't talk. Our daylight saving starts end of October, the weekend of the end of October. No, the weekend of the start of October, and it ends the end of March. So I'm told, so in Europe, I'm not quite sure in the UK if you guys have that as well. In the US, I think Wendy tells me their clocks have already gone forward or back. However, it's 9:33, says Elise. Breakfast. Just woke up. Renata says 2:30 a.m. Oh, Renata. Oh. Well, at least it's the weekend. You can sleep in, hopefully, past midnight. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You sound like me, Renata. That's what I do. That's what I do. Last night I went to bed, I think, no, the night before I went close to 3 or something like that. Elise says, is the bronze part of your card? Oh, no, it's not. It's that bronze lady that you saw, that was just me mixing, using mixed media, and I just wanted to see and play around with some of the art supplies that I bought. And this one is also, this is not part of my cards. This is like a practice for a great big landscape that I'm going to be doing for my cards. And because I'm not good at landscapes, so that's why I decide, and there's rocks, there's trees, there's all sorts of things like that, and that's why I'm practicing on that. Plus it's something that I just wanted to do a little bit different than what I'm doing. It helps me that I don't get bored of my big project. So that's the explanation. Wendy says, y'all weird. Y'all, did I say it right? Y'all weird. Just like your seasons. Oh, y'all weird. No, well, yes, we are. We are. I don't sound, I don't do a very good American accent or a Southern accent. Y'all. And Steve says, what Derwent model do you have? I ask because I have looked at so many sharpeners. I am now officially confused who has what in their brand names without researching it again. Oh, look, Steve, you know what? You can be like that for art supplies, I reckon. But what you should do is just maybe write down. But I've lost track myself too. I'm in the same boat as you are. Elise says, it's looking absolutely lovely. I love blue eyes against all that brown. Yes, well, my reference photo is like that. And my reference, because my reference photo comes from Pixabay. It's in the fantasy mysteries section. If you Google that, you'll see the fellow. You'll see it. But I didn't create this one from scratch. I just wanted to use it so I can practice on rocks and stuff like that. So, and it was fitting in the type of subject that I like. Yeah. I don't know if I explained that right. I think I did. So here we go. I should get my husband to get me a glass of wine, shouldn't I? I want one now, after the trouble I had getting on. Well, I got on, but there was no sound. Nanette says, please, you don't hear me talking like an Aussie. I know. Well, I don't hear you talking, that's why. But I think Australians can do American accents very well. I think that we can do very good German accents. I think, what other ones? Maybe not so good on the French, but you never know. We can do very good English accents. Hey, that's where we came from. To begin with, I suppose. Wendy says, oh, hang on. Steve says, you should make a spreadsheet or a flow chart. Yes, and I think Wendy's very good at things like that. because Wendy was telling me about her organisation. You should do a video on that, Wendy, and show us all. Nanette says, trust me, I don't go around telling people g'day, but I do say y'all. Wendy said, besides, Nanette could get her stream stalking in that way. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, I think with all my art friends here, you all understand me now. Apart from all the other Australians that you guys follow and hear. Yeah. Steve says, a dirty little unknown fact. We men are just as bad about art supplies. Wendy is the Wendy is the queen of art supplies. In fact, she's the warehouse in art supplies. She is the warehouse. That is so true. When she's got art supplies in that room where even she doesn't know that she's got. If she doesn't have it, if she doesn't have it, it has been made. Wendy says, now, Steve, there is still a bunch I don't have. Renata says, yes, she is. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Now this is slightly a bit saturated, so oh yeah, here's a thing. Here's something, and this is for colour. For people who aren't sure, now I bet you when I tip this over, hang on. This is orange tint, and this is raw umber tint. It's a tip or a trick, tip and trick. Orange tint and raw umber tint. As you can see, that colour, I don't know if it's coming through okay, but it's very saturated. And when you want to desaturate it, a colour that you can would be raw umber tint or the raw umbers. Oh, I don't have one here. But when because this is on the warm side, and the raw umber is a very dark, dirty brown, cold brown, and because these are highlight colours that I would use for highlight, that's why I would use the raw umber tint. But if you were using them in the darker shades, like that's the darkest one, and I believe that this is there it is there. That is orange extra dark. So if you wanted to desaturate it, you would use the opposite of that. So that's why, sorry, I'm blowing. I probably should use my noisy red vacuum cleaner. So that's why I'm desaturating it with that. But then again, you guys probably already know that one. Wendy says, Chrissy, hey now, yours are just hidden in drawers. Yes, they are. What you can't see, you can't talk about. Wendy says, only because it wasn't worthy to be in your warehouse. Wendy says, could be a tippy trick if you would have your wine. Oh yes. I'm almost tempted to go, hey Dave, Dave is my husband's name, Dave. Get him to get me a glass of wine. Elise says, haha and her wine. Yeah, Steve. Hey missed you coming in. Yes, there you go. All right, so back to this. So I'm desaturating it because I see that this is not so orange, that it shouldn't be so orange. And there's the dark orange. I really love the way that these work together. I think it's the brush. I think the fact that it gives me control that I like. I think that I like. And of course I'm going to go with detail with pastel pencils on top of this. So there's just so much to do on it. So a dot. Here we go. A dot there. And oh, okay, that goes like that. It goes like that. There we go. Okay. All right. So I think I should work on this area here now. I don't know, can you guys hear the I'm really I'm hoping, is the stream okay for you guys? Is it coming out clear enough? I just wanted to make sure that it's clear, because on my screen this area doesn't look so clear. But I don't think I can do anything about it. I think it's my internet. Oh, okay. Thanks, Wendy. Wendy says, there has been a pastel piece that you did not like and just threw away because it was so bad in your opinion. Oh, yes. There's a few. Oh, sorry. Hang on a sec. Has there been a pastel piece that you did not like and just threw away because it was so bad in your opinion? Yes, yes, the beginning ones. But I haven't... You've just reminded me of a topic that we can talk about on our stream. Yes, there are pastel pieces that... Hang on, I'm going to read that again. Sorry, I'm going to go back to it. I want to read it again. Has there been a pastel piece that you did not like and just threw away because it was so bad in your opinion? Yes, I threw some earlier ones which were really bad, but it wasn't so much because of the pastel, but it was more the composition. It was not good, and this was me just, you know. But I have kept some old ones which on purpose. I've kept some old ones on purpose, so it helps me compare myself or compare my work, and it encourages me that I've because I'm practicing, that I get better and better. And not to say that I didn't like those, it's just that was my skill at the time, and that's how I feel about that. It's actually a nice little reminder, actually. Yeah. Beverly says, just saw your tour of your room. Love it. And yes, the Queen of Art Supplies. Absolutely. 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 Elise says, anything, oh, sorry, Elise is asking Steve. It's almost 10 p.m. here. I have an early day tomorrow, Chrissy. Early day tomorrow. Chrissy, it's looking fabulous. Take care all. Thank you, Lynn, so much. I really appreciate you popping by. Appreciate it so much, and would love to see you again sometime. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Oh, and another thing, I also wanted to also give a plug to all the people that are in the live stream that have got YouTube channels and everybody that's in there. I suggest you all go in and have a look at, for example, Wendy's, which is Artista365, her art channel. Some wonderful, wonderful things there. Also with Elise, Elise Wong Creations, you should also go in there. Elise does a lot of acrylic work there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm going to call it a night too. I enjoyed it as well, as always. Thank you, Nanette. Thank you so much for being so patient with me. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you, and hope to see you again soon. Yeah, so yeah, so yeah, so you should all go and have a look. Oh, have a look at the channels. Okay, this guy, oh well, I'm making a bit of progress on this guy. I've been doing a lot of talking. I think that's why. But I'm actually liking the way it's coming out. It's coming together. I think it's because the eye. I wasn't okay with this until I started with the eye on this side. So what I'm doing here is I'm just finding all my dark areas, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And there's a strip here. This is almost like working on a limited palette here. You could say, couldn't you, with this? Yeah. I think his nose looks funny. I've got to do something with his nose. Wendy says, it would be awesome if our username has a link to our channels, easier and much more encouraging to check out other people's channels. Yeah, who else has a channel here? Sub. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think YouTube don't let you. They don't let you do it that way, because I think what would happen is that people wouldn't use it correctly, I think. Wendy says, what is your preferred method of working? Clearly left to right on this piece, but by subject, dark to light, background, foreground, midground. Thanks for your question. Oh, I love this question. Thank you so much. Okay, what is your preferred method of working? Although my preferred is left to right, only because, but I don't always do that. Okay, I don't always do that. I do it most of the time because, you know, if you work there first, well then you would be continually smudging your work. I suppose with pastels. Different, I think, with other mediums though. I think colour pencil totally different, but with pastels, definitely from left to right. And your method of working, clearly left to right on this piece, but by subject, dark to light. Okay, usually what I do like is from dark to light most of the time. The only time I'll do like what I've done now is because sometimes my brain is not, you know, when you start doing a painting and then there's the ugly stage, and then you find that you're not seeing the picture, it's not coming. So that's why sometimes I'll tend to use light and medium, just so I can get the feel of it. And with pastels, because I know all, and the paper is forgiving, I can chop and change, I can put it down, I can walk away, come back to it and readjust it. So that's with pastels. With pencils, with color pencils, obviously, you know, it would be the same, I think. It would be the same. And the background, foreground and midground. Okay, some background, foreground, midground. Yeah, sometimes I have known to be to gone a little bit all over the place. Higgledy-piggledy. There's that. Now, higgledy-piggledy means, I don't even know how to explain it, but a bit all over the place, or, you know, something like that. But what I try now to do is do the background first, and what I did, I used masking film. So when I finish this painting and I render the video, you will see that I've used masking film on here. So then I did my background first, I did my midground, and this is part of my midground, and of course I'm going to do this last. But it's not always the way I work, but it's probably the way I should work, would make more sense. Steve says, oh, okay. Just having a look at the chat. Elise says, you're really loving this masking film. You know what, if you could use it and you would see what it does and how easy it makes things, you would be talking about it like I talk about it. Speaking of which, Wendy says, you need to do a video on how to use masking fluid and link it to your video you just uploaded. You can also use masking film, fluid and masking film together. Oh, that'd be a good one. I'll have to think about that one, how I'm going to do that. That's a very good idea. See, you're full of ideas too. Look at that. Love it. Okay. All right. So what I might do is I'll just be on here just for a little bit longer, just for a little bit longer, and I'll just do this area here perhaps, and or just this little bit here or there, whichever way. I'm all over the place, and I'll go. Yeah. Okay. I think I need to use this one. And I'm just mixing here. Now this is a really, really dark area, so excuse me. There we go. There we go. Elise says, only use masking tape and masking fluid. Still on the lookout for masking film. Express it. It's an X, and then there's a dash, press it, and it's masking film. It is the best. It is fantastic. People, even like, who uses it? Airbrush artists use it as well. So, excellent. Hildy says, the masking film trick was great. Yes. Hildy, did you use it? Have you used it on your pieces as well? It'd be great to see what you thought and how, you know, how easy, or was it, did it make things easy for you? I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Beverly says, I have enjoyed your show. Thank you, and all good night. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you very much for stopping by. Appreciate it so much. I hope to see you next time. Yes, lovely. Thank you so much. Wendy says, you can get it in rolls and sheets. Oh, this is the Xrissart X. No, it's Elise. It's PRESS IT. The IT is separate. Is that how you spell it? Yeah. That's it, Wendy. Yeah, Xrissart. Yeah. Worth every penny. But I don't know how you would use it for acrylics. That would be really interesting. I don't know. Hildy says, yes, I tried on a test piece. Worked so well. Yeah. It works really well. Like it's also, see how, I don't know if you can see how, it's just so well. Like I don't have to worry about, like, so with the sky, I just went over it just like that with my pan pastels, with my soft tools, and I didn't have to worry about that. And look what a fine line that is. Yeah. Here we go. There's a little highlight here. It's a bit weird, isn't it? A bit there. It's just his eyelid, but you can't really see his Here we go. There we go. Renata says, try to get some sleep. It was great fun as every time. Thank you, Chrissy. Good night to you all. Oh, good night, Renata. Thank you so much for staying up. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good night to you. Okay, so hopefully next week, if you're all if you like, you can join Wendy and myself for next week's stream. It's going to be about the same time, and we'll be talking about mixed media and the projects, and we've gone away and we've done our homework, and we'll talk about what we've done. And hopefully you guys can, or whoever, if whoever comes on, maybe you can talk about some of the stuff that maybe you have been working on, maybe mixed media. Maybe you can offer some suggestions to us. Oh, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to hear about that. Yeah. I'm just going to do this area here and then I'll stop that, which is just here. And here, what's above here? It's a highlight of some kind here. Here we go. So I think let me see. Well, let me see. I'm just looking at how this looks. I mean, it's definitely a work in progress. But what I wanted to say is thank you so much for, I think I'm going to call it a day, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for being patient in the beginning. I'm just so lucky to be hanging out with just some wonderful guys just like yourselves, guys and gals, my lovely art friends from all over the world. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I just wanted to say, well, look, thank you, but until the next time, bye for now.